Hey everyone, Zen here. Today we're going to be talking about something that has probably already been milked to death a bit, but would like to kind of put my own 2 cents in. Plus, the funny part is, originally had recorded this video, but then, by the luck of the heavens, looked and saw that there was another update to the story. So we got that. As y'all see in the screen, we are going to be covering Palworld. So, the whole lawsuit with Nintendo and all of it in this video. So the first issue is we need to look at the date that Palworld came out. As you all see in this picture, it did come out January 19th of this year, 2024. Why does that matter? It's because the next thing that needs to come to play is, and this is where things get muddy, because the source here, Rock Paper Shotgun. All links will be sourced below for future reference, so everyone can either look at them, yell at me, or have managed to miss something. Please do let me know in the comments. So, according to this source, we have three loving and caring patents here, and the first issue is if we open one up, remember January 19th. If we open one up and go into the details, July 30th of this year, they made a request for a patent. And then here we are, all of it comes through written amendment, decision to grant a patent. So this stuff isn't finalizing. Heck, it isn't even starting till months after Palworld. Then we go to, I believe that was the first patent, 191. We can go to the next one here, and let's take a peepsy do at the date. Maybe they got one. Nope, February. So a month and a week after Palworld released, we have another patent here. So two out of three so far have struck out. Now let's pull into the third patent and reveal the date shows March 5th, request for a patent. So all of these have been requested for a patent after Palworld came into being. Now, why is this a problem? It's because at this rate, the patents are all coming into fruition after the fact that Palworld made the grid. That's what took so long for Nintendo to make legal action and press for legal remedy against Palworld. They were legit making things to sue for. The problem that comes into play is at this rate, it's safe to say that if Nintendo does truly win this, the gaming industry as a whole is at risk of rather changing. Because if you can just wait until somebody makes something that potentially threatens your IP, you just have to immediately patent the hell out of everything. If anything, let's take a slight second to look. First mode, aiming. These aren't even any, like, they aren't too specific, if you ask me. These are things that probably should have been patented before Palworld came out if they really wanted to push for this, but, well, the next issue is I'm gonna leave this paused here for a sec while we ramble on, because one thing to factor in is, at the end of the day, this is going to cause harm to both brands. We need to look at the fact that it's going to cause harm to both Palworld and Pokemon, and it's going to have effects on the gaming industry as a whole. There is no way to be subtle about it. We are witnessing something that is potentially going to make the history books, as we can safely say the next thing that comes to place is essentially, it seems like Nintendo's sole purpose in life is, as you see in this article, let's face it, they don't like competition. They really don't like competition. They got complacent with their Pokemon games for the past couple years. And probably going to get at least one person in the comments saying, but the recent games have been good. Remember Scarlet and Violet with the glitches? Remember the fact that at one point they said no national decks and y'all threatened to boycott? What happened with that? Oh wait, it obviously had minimalistic effect, but we're not here about the national decks overall. I'm only referencing that in terms of the fact that Pokemon is both getting too big for its britches and it is getting complacent. Because Scarlet and Violet, the one way that they could have saved that, if you ask me, was if they made the big evil the reason why the region seems so glitchy and messy. But instead, we get a game that, if they were to reference Scarlet and Violet in future games, the region is screwed. Because now new things are being introduced that weren't originally there. I'm trying to tiptoe around spoiling the game, but if you know, you know. But what it all boils down to is between Pokemon Go, Pokemon Scarlet, they've gotten rather complacent not having competition, or at least competition that seemed like it was making a run for their throne. There have been many Pokemon similarities, Pokemon lookalikes. There have been many games that treaded a similar water. For example, Nexomon comes to mind. Nexomon was a classic game. It was funny, it was self-aware, it was somewhat close to the sun, but sadly it didn't get as close as Palworld in this case, as Palworld has officially drawn the wrath of the Nintendo overlords. Now, as you see, well, what else can be said about this issue is, at this rate, a new patent infringement lawsuit filed by Nintendo, they're trying, it seems like the intent is to muddy the water and try to make it so that the competition either has to change to the point where they are nowhere near identical or nowhere close to identical. Which, if it weren't for the fact that the patents came out this year after the release of the game, we'd be having a different talk. But this is quite literally going to the referee and demanding a new rule be put because they see someone doing a similar tactic. Yeah, at this rate, it's safe to say it's going to be curious to see how this plays out. Now, with that said, on to the recent changes that came out today, my friends, my fellows, and to those who are watching that are angrily typing, or those named Jim. If your name's named Jim, you have to subscribe. So, Palworld is starting to implement changes, as it... I'm not going to blame Pocket Pair. They want the game to come out, and they're trying to make it work. Because right now, as it stands, don't remember getting any updates so far, or maybe missed it. But at this rate, the PAL spheres are being changed. And what's going to happen is, it's slight changes that, whilst in its whole, will not ruin the game, it will somewhat change the vibe of the game. And that ties back to the other issue. At the end of the day, if Nintendo's allowed to do this, to where they can just make patents up on the fly after a threat has been determined, then what's stopping other game companies from following suit? The industry as a whole will eventually become the question of who fires the patent first, regardless of timing. It's not going to be the whole, hey, you've had your patent out before this game, and this game came out, now it's a problem. No, it's, the game came out, you deemed it a threat, so you made patents to everything specific that you can, in fact, take. And now, here you are, ready to sue. Essentially, we are entering a very odd phase in gaming as a whole, where, I'm not going to go into it here, but AAA gaming has had some very interesting turns, and it seems like Pokemon Palworld story is not quite done. But, guess that's all there is for now. Might come back and repay this one a visit if there's any major updates, but as said, all links will be below for all the sources presented here today, along with if you would like to join the Twitch for live streams, if you'd like to come down to follow my X. We also have a Discord server. I'm probably going to promote it either on the Twitch or via linky below. Until then, y'all stay safe, keep being amazing, and we'll catch you all next time. This is Delta Zen, signing off.